Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. Really nice to have you. So this video is a reaction to one of the comments from one of our loyal subscribers at KT4044. And that's the question of which investments should he be investing in Nigeria. So earlier on, I did a video about 6 terrible investments that you should not even touch or invest in, talking about investing in Nigeria. So today we're going to be talking about cocoa. Why it's very important for you as someone who wants to invest in Nigeria to consider cocoa. Now, there are many investments you can look at, but cocoa is actually a very good one to look at. Why? Because chocolate, everybody loves chocolate. Chocolate is something that is very common, and it's something that will always be in high demand. In North America, in Europe, in Asia, just everywhere, chocolate is something that is in very high demand. And guess what? 3 countries in Africa are actually the top 70% producers of cocoa, which is where chocolate come from. You're looking at Ghana, you're looking at Ivory Coast and Nigeria. So if you want to invest in Nigeria, definitely cocoa is something to look at. And this video will talk a lot about the complications of investing in cocoa in Nigeria and why it's something that you might want to consider. Now, before I start, I want to say that Ivory Coast is #1 producer of cocoa in the world, making about 2.2 million metric tons. Total globally is about over 5 million metric tons. Now, between Ivory Coast and Ghana, 60% of the cocoa made in the world is actually made from Ivory Coast and Ghana. And that's because of the weather, the temperature, the climate, and the soil. So in Nigeria, we are #4 right after Indonesia. We don't make that much. We don't make that many cocoa. But if you invested in it, if you look at these charts I'm showing right now, and you can see the price of cocoa per metric ton. So if you wanted to invest, imagine as of the time of this recording, you are crossing the $4,000 mark. So that's how much per metric ton. If you had a small farm, or you have someone who has a farm, you can actually grow cocoa. The soil in Nigeria is actually very good. In places like Ondo State, Cross River, Akwa Ibom, Delta, and these states are where you can actually invest and buy land. If you buy land, you can actually grow cocoa there. Now, before you say, well, can I start tomorrow or maybe I start right away? I want to call out some of the issues Nigeria's had. Before 1956, when Nigeria discovered crude oil, Nigeria was #2 producer of crude oil globally. But once we found crude oil, the country kind of let go and we just like, let's focus on crude oil. So a lot of our attention was directed to crude oil and we let cocoa go. And since then, cocoa has actually suffered. The cocoa industry has suffered in Nigeria. However, during the era of President Olusegun Obasanjo, he tried to revitalize that, all to no avail. Now, if you want to invest in cocoa, things to consider is the land, the location, the type of soil. Then also, do you have the equipment? Because you have to grow them in little seeds. And once you grow them, you have to have them transplanted to the ground. And you have to wait for a period of over 4 years, in most cases 4 to 10 years, for them to grow. After 4 to 10 years, they can start reaping the results. And there's also the harvesting, the bagging, the transportation. And all these are things that actually you have to consider. But you just definitely have to plan for probably 4, 5, even up to 10 years before you can reap that investment. The problems of harvesting, raising, and actually growing cocoa in Nigeria. And why is not Nigeria #4? If you look at the land mass of Ghana combined with Ivory Coast, Nigeria is actually bigger. So why is Nigeria not #1 of cocoa? Why is it that Ivory Coast, small, teeny, tiny Ivory Coast, pardon me, my Ivory Coast friends, but why is it that Ivory Coast is bigger and produces more cocoa than Nigeria? Now, #1, I talked earlier about how we found crude oil. And because we found crude oil, we said we remove our eyes from the bar. And when we took our eyes off the bar, those guys kind of took over. Nigeria produced about 340,000 metric tons of cocoa in just 2022, compared to Ivory Coast 2.2 million, and compared to Ghana's 800,000 metric tons. So again, these countries are doubling, tripling, quadrupling the volume made by Nigeria. The age bracket. So if you look at places like Ivory Coast and Ghana, from the age of 25 to 50 is where you see a lot of farmers. So you have a farmer who is 25 years old, you have a farmer who is 30 years old in Ivory Coast, in Ghana, and you go to Nigeria, you have a farmer who is 75. A cocoa farmer is 80, a cocoa farmer is 85. So you see that age gap is kind of a big thing because our youth in Nigeria want to be in the cities, they want to be in Lagos or Abuja. A lot of them left the farm.
This is the farmer and they will be taking us to the farm. Dọ́lẹ́ tí ń ṣe iṣẹ́ kòkó yìí.
Mo ti ń ṣiṣẹ́ kòkó yìí tó 60 ọdún. 60 years.
60. Ọmọ ọdún mélòó ni nílẹ̀ yìí?
Mo ti lé 70 báyìí.
Ẹ ti máa tiẹ̀ tó 80.
So that one is a bad road. Our roads are very, very bad, especially during the raining season where it rains a lot. The roads are actually not motorable. These cocoa bags are transported and then it's just really hard to move straight from the farm. The infrastructure, the road is just, it's really, really bad to move cocoa from the farm out. And that just makes it very, very difficult. So sometimes when it rains really heavily in places like Ondo, Akwa Ibom or Delta states, like for weeks, they can't really bring the cocoa out. And that's something government should probably look at and look into to be able to make sure that with good roads, the cocoa can be transported out to where it gets exported. Now, the other factor that affects the Nigerian cocoa industry is the fact that our trees, they are aging. Our trees are, they are just old cocoa trees. So these are cocoa trees that are 70 years old, 80 years old. Because the government is not focusing on cocoa production, so those trees in the farm, they are really old, and also the land itself, they are tired. You know, normally they are supposed to be circulating the land, whereby like for a period of time you plant, on that period of time you go somewhere else and you plant and you just grow and rotate. And then with the trees, there's this new seeds they use now, whereby with the cocoa farm, when you use the seeds and you plant them and you grow the trees, there's lots of cocoa. The ones we have are the ones whereby you have like a cocoa tree can have like five cocoa on them, or some can have 10 on them, and that's just it. And then you have to move. So that requires more land and more area. But the new seeds that are out there, some of them are actually, they modified some of them, I suppose, and that allows the seeds to bring trees with more cocoa fruits on them. So tired land is one of them. Then fertilizers, pests, and those government subsidy. All those are things that help to be able to encourage farmers and boost farming. In Ghana, they started the tax-free trade zone for cocoa, where you can actually make cocoa and you don't have to pay taxes. That's something that Nigeria could also introduce that will help and encourage and boost cocoa farming. Now, with all this said, it is not to say you can't invest in cocoa. You still can. You can actually get into it, and if you plan for doing this for the next 5 to 10 years, instead of buying that house or sending a motorcycle to Nigeria or sending money for someone to do a car, instead of doing other investments, you can definitely invest in cocoa and wait like every other investment. Wait for it, give it 5 to 10 years, and you'll be able to make you'll be able to get your money back. Especially now that cocoa is reaching 5,000 per metric ton. So I hope this was helpful at KT4044. If you guys have any questions about cocoa harvesting, please feel free to ask in the comment below. And if you agree with me or don't agree, let me know. Please like this video if you haven't already, and feel free to share with someone who you think might find value in it. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.
BattaBox.